You might notice already, but you can take any image and put it into the emission from the principal BSDF and use those color informations to light up your scene. I am using Unsplash to find an image. For now, let's go with Night City. That looks nice. Download that one. Say thank you to If Phone Seats. S3. Images as planes. Find the file where you saved it or downloaded the image or any image you want to use. There we go. Select it. On the right side, you can see it. If you don't have it, just press N to get this window. Set it to emit, and let's go with a strength of 10 already. Put it in there. I already looked for a car just now, just to set up a scene from Blender Kit. Blend Kit? No idea. Import a police car. From whom is it? I'm just gonna set up the scene real quick. And there we have it. The image is lighting up our scene. We can scale it up to make it a little bit bright or brighter. And of course it is too dark, so let's go and make this a bit brighter, the environment. Maybe darker. Okay, there we go. So this is basically what you have if you just use a normal JPEG. What we can do too is just take the JPEG we downloaded and just type in JPEG in HDR. So you have a high dynamic range. Don't ask me what it actually does. From all I know, it takes the brightest points and makes it brighter, the darkest points makes it darker. Anyway, you can take the image, you have the JPEG file, or I think it should go with PNG too, and I tried it actually. Put it in there and just hit convert. I think you have 3 free conversions a day. The file should be a little bit more, should be bigger. The file says here almost 60 megabyte, but I also did some tests before, and I'm just gonna show you these so we don't have to wait. Like I said, you can take any image. I just took beer. Here I have a file, left the JPEG, right the HDR. I didn't change any settings other than, where is it? Set the color space, because if you look here from the JPEG, the color space is set automatically to sRGB, and the alpha, we don't have anything with an alpha right now, set to string. For the HDR, it's set to linear. The only thing I changed was set it from linear to sRGB. Same emission strength, I think 10, and there you can see the difference. It's brighter, it's more clear, you don't lose all the information you have. If you want to use it as a background information, of course. Here you can see a little bit more like color information, I would say. Here it's too hazy, here it's more reddish. Here in the water you can see a little bit more reflections. I also did a test to show you the difference between the color spaces and JPEG and HDR. Of course, you can change it to whatever you want from the JPEG to get different kind of vibes, I would say. Usually it's sRGB for the image, and here you can see the difference. Same emission strength, same settings. The only thing is this is a JPEG, this is the HDR, and I find this more pleasing. Play around with the settings, but in general I would tend to use an HDR more than a JPEG file to just have a little bit more control over your environment. And just to show you again, JPEG, HDR, same emission, same strength. I find it the right one more pleasing, I must say. I might be biased too, you might like the left one too, but the right one, you can see the background clear. If you want to use the universe as a background image or scale it up and make a spaceship fly in front of it, I don't know. But but also the reflections are kind of clearer here with the HDR. I can do the same thing here too, just to show you real quick. Set up a camera. I'll be right back. Wow, that didn't take forever. But you know what? This is the JPEG. You can see it's brighter. You're losing some details around here, the dark spots, the bright spots. The reflections, I didn't actually look at them just yet. Same emission, you can also play around with the emission strength. I feel like you have more information about the dark spots and the bright spots. You can get a better feeling out of it. The reflections on the car. Of course, since the brightness needs to be adjusted, you can play around with it. Let's just do it right now. The right one is the HDR. Let's make the left one the JPEG. Okay. Here's the JPEG file, sRGB, emission set to 10. And here you have the HDR emission set to 10 too. And yeah, if you want to have the same kind of brightness, you need to adjust it further and further. Just play around with it. This is maybe too bright. Because you can see you can go all the way up to 3000. I don't know what, still, I mean, it looks awful. But just in comparison, here you at least can tell what it's supposed to be. At least I can, like street signs and stuff like that. Here you can just see the buildings, nothing's clear below. All in all, if you want to use lighting in the environment, and use an HDR if you can. If a JPEG is enough for you, just use a JPEG, but I would say HDR is way better. Let's have a look at the images again. Where are they? There they are. Find it more pleasing, the right side. Here I will upload it also. Now you can just stop it and look at it. sRGB from the JPEG looks good. I find it more pleasing down below with the HDR. Everything is the same again. Just the color spaces are changed and you get more information out of it. And maybe it gives an idea to play around with an image but change the color space to get some different vibes out of it.
That was basically it.